Oh my god, guys. Flow actually did it again. I was thinking that Flow cannot be better, but they actually blow my mind, and I think your mind will be blown as well with this feature. So you can actually see this button over here. It says Debug Info, and we are actually going to get into this button. But essentially, what this button is doing is actually outputting all your variables in your Flow app, in your page, in your component, in your app state, in your uh, global, in your global variables, in your authentication. So we're going to go into details about that, of all of that in this video actually. But oh my god, it's a mind blowing. I really cannot stress enough how useful this feature it is. And yeah, before we jump into this today video, I just want to say thank you very much for all the people who are actually paid members and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like 95% of my income are actually from YouTube, is actually coming from my paid members. So I'm extremely happy for that. If you consider to be a paid member, you can be a fanatic or above, and then you have access to videos specifically for fanatics. Currently there are 30 plus videos that are for my paid members. But yeah, without any further ado, let's actually jump into this today video. So before I show you the debug info panel, I just want to say like a disclaimer that uh, this is by the time of I'm recording, by the time that you're watching this, I'm actually recording this in the beta functionality. I cannot release this video to the public, but I'm so excited. I actually want to do this video right now before they even release it. So when they release, when the Flow actually released the beta, the debug info, I want to be one of the first channels to actually show you what the debug info it's capable of. So that's why I'm recording currently, like I said, in the beta. Uh, and I just want to say that the functionalities that I'm going to show you might change by the time you're watching this video. They're constantly improving this feature, but so far, even without any improvements, even without touching it, this is already incredible. I'm using my What's New 2 project, which is just for tutorials project. You probably have already saw that project if you are watching my channel. But essentially, what this tool, where you can use that tool currently, you can use that tool in test mode only. But I think in the future, you probably can actually use it in local run. Um, I will think about that. If I think about that, I'm not sure, but yeah, for now it's only in test mode, which is wonderful actually because I'm a Linux user. So if they made it for local run, I'd be not able to use it because there is no Linux app. In fact, I have created my own. It's in my GitHub repo. But without any further ado, if I click on this button, you can actually see it says debug info and it says beta. Like I said, this is in beta right now. By the time you're watching this video, it should be released to the public. But when I'm recording it, it's in beta. So like I said, things that you see might change by the time you're watching this video. There's so much to tell you, but let's start with what you're actually going to see. So by default, I think the idea of the Flow theme is that this will be opened by default. So if you want to close it, of course you can close it. But the idea is to be open because a lot of people will actually ignore it if it's not open. And this is so like an essential functionality that if you guys don't know about it, that would be a shame. So what we have here? So we have app state. So if we scroll down, we have the information of the app state. We have information of app constants as well. We have global properties as well. So to be honest, right now we have like a few global properties, but I expect actually to have more in the future. To be honest, we have authenticated user as well. And those are the things that I have in this current project. I'm actually using this project because I have a lot of variables over here, so I can actually show you more variables. And I'm going to get into all of them. But before that, I just want to say that this, it's first of all, it's movable, which is great. It's a great feature that this is actually movable. And then we have variables over here. So my suggestion will be actually that in the future we'll actually have some other like modules from the app that we will be able to see. Right now we have variables, but maybe in the future we'll have something else. I'll only speculate if I say what is my like. I only speculate because I don't know what there will be, but this is my guess. And then we have also search. So for example, if I search for name, for example, I'm going to get like all the variables that are containing names. So for example, this one is containing name. And I'm not sure why I see the other ones. This one is admin name. This one is current user display name. But I'm not sure why I'm seeing my car, for example. That's weird. But yeah, you have the search for, oh, because I have a misspelled, of course. Sorry about that. It's hard when you're actually holding the mic and the same time writing in the keyboard. But still, we have like it stopped, which is not in the name. So that's a little bit like, I'm not sure what is the idea behind that, but probably it's probably this can be fixed. This will be fixed by the time you're watching this video. So yeah, there is a search. So for example, if I want to like is stopped, for example, I want to know what is the value for is stopped. So just write is stopped, and of course you can actually see this value over here. And yeah, another cool thing that you can actually do, which is really really cool, is that you can actually copy the variables. So you can actually copy them if you want to use them somewhere outside or for your API calls or wherever. You can actually copy the values and then display it. Also, the variables that you see over here on the left side, they're actually dynamic. They are going to change dynamically. And then the filters, we have a few filters. So we can filter by integer, by double, by string. So all kind of types we have over here. So let's say that I want to display only the JSON ones. So if I click over here, I have the dates, and I have the player, and I have the cities. And those are my JSON variables, for example. So if I don't want to sort it by JSON, just click on the JSON again, I guess. Which in my case, yeah, just click on the JSON again and or clear all, and that will work as well. Then we have show only non-knowable values. So if I click on that one, it's going to show only non-knowable values. Sorry for the sound. I forgot, of course, to make my phone on silence when I'm recording a video. Of course, how unprofessional from me. Sorry, guys. Show only variables with no values, and those are the variables that are no. So, and here it's a very important thing. So you actually see that I have in this current like app or page, I have three variables that are currently no. So I have the location, which is no, and I have the player, which is no, and I have the file, which is no. And why this file, you're probably guessing and wondering. Why this file, it's not like in red. The reason it's not in red, because if you see actually this very small question mark, you can actually see that it says allowed to be no. Which means that if it's no, it's totally fine. don't worry about it. I know what is going on. But if it's not supposed to be no, so for example, if this JSON it says cannot be no, then it will be in red. Why it's going to be in red? Because if you're actually outputting no and this variable it's not supposed to be no, then you're probably going to have like a red screen of that, as I'm calling it. So that's actually super helpful. That's extremely helpful, because right now if I want to display, for some reason I try to display the variable location on my app, I'm going to get the red screen of that. And I now know why, because this variable it's no, and it does not supposed to be no. So this actually is extremely powerful and powerful option or check mark over here. And then let's clear all now, and let's probably go to, let's say, for the login screen, for example, because I want to show you something here, guys. So if I go to the login and just scroll down, those are the app state variables. Those are the constants. Those are the global properties. We're going to talk about that in the minute. But here on the bottom left side, you can actually see that we have text field 1 and text field 2. I haven't like named them very specifically, but the idea is that if I write any value, you can actually see it on the left side is actually changed as well. So it's actually, like I said, this is dynamic, which is wonderful. And this is going to change on the right side. When I write, it's going to change on the left side as well, which is pretty amazing. And we have all the app states. That is pretty incredible. You will be able to see every single app state that you have in your app and what is the value of it. I have a lot of app states over here in this particular project. It's for demo purposes, but I have like JSONs, for example. You can see the whole JSON, and you can copy even the whole JSON, which is pretty good. I don't have a data type. I then have another JSON, have another data type, have booleans. I have all kind of data over here. You can actually see. I then have the app constants, and the app constants actually have only one, which is admin name. For example, it's my name. I then have the global properties. Global properties actually it's great as well, because if I change the screen variable, you can actually see that the screen width and the screen height is actually changed as well, which is pretty amazing. And then another thing that you can see actually, it's what platform you're currently using, and it says web, which is extremely helpful, because people are wondering when I use a test mode, what is the platform? Is it mobile or is it web? Well, the answer, you can actually see it over here. It's web. But don't be fooled that web over here does not mean that you're actually using the web app. There are some functionalities, and I talked about that in a few videos. There are some functionalities that are actually restricted when you're actually using test mode instead of web app. And when I say web app, I mean when you deploy your project for web. And for example, one of them, is not when you use a test mode, you're not allowed to have access to any of your devices, for example, of your device functionality. So for example, like the camera or the microphone or something like that. Like in this current version, of course, in the test mode. Maybe in the future you will be able to. And then we have the theme mode, which is dark or light. And we have currently we have the system one, which I'm using dark mode. So that's why this is in dark mode. So that's why it says system over here. Super helpful as well. You can actually see what mode you're using. And then we have the time. So the time actually, first of all, they had displayed with timestamp. So it's actually only the numbers, if you know what I mean. But they actually change it to this date, which is very good formatted. But to be honest, I actually will argue with the flow team that I think like displaying the actual values is more valuable when you're dealing with code, when you're dealing with apps, because right now you're going to think like, okay, this is the variable that I'm going to get, but no, actually this is the formatted variable that the flow actually did for you, which is very helpful to know, but you cannot know it unless you're watching this video. So be uh, like it's like, I mean, it's good that you're watching this video because you now know this. This is not the actual variable that you're getting. You're actually getting the timestamp of this variable. This is the formatted date. And then we have the routing, a very super interesting thing. This is the routing. You know what is this page you're currently in. And then we have the route stack, super important thing as well. A lot of people don't think about it, but you're actually, the whole idea is, and I'm trying to like talk about it to more and more people, and the idea is when you're actually visiting pages in Flutterflow, when you're using Flutterflow and Flutter in particular, the pages actually stack on top of each other's. This is how actually you can think of it, like piece of paper, for example. And then we are in item number 2, which is the third item in the array, and it says login. So what is the idea? The idea is if I go back now, so if I click the back button right now, you can actually see that the third item disappeared. And like I said, you can think of it like a piece of paper, like you're stacking on top of each other's. And that's why actually when you open a page and then go to another page and then just use navigation back, and you just do some changes and then go to just do navigation back or navigation pop, it's actually not, you're not going to see the change, you're not going to see the new changes. And the reason behind that is, like I said, it's only like going to the piece of the sheets of paper and just removing that piece, that sheet of paper, and just displaying the last one. So that's why you don't, sometimes you don't see like the changes on the page, because you're actually seeing the page how it was when you clicked to go to this other page. I hope that makes sense to you guys. And then we have the authenticated user. That's great as well. We now have, like, for example, the current user reference. For example, we can copy the reference. We can copy the user ID. And we can copy the email. We can say if it's logged in, true or false. We can copy that as well, and any like information that you can actually see. Then we have the page state. We also have access to the component state. And like I showed you, we have like things like, for example, widget values and widget state as well, which are dynamic, like I said. And yeah, there are like a lot of things that you can actually explore. For example, app version. If I go to app version, you can actually see it says update app, and you can actually see that we have now access to the action outputs. And then I actually am able to see all the variables from my action output. I don't need anymore to just display it on the page using a text variable or a snack bar or something like that. This is how you can actually do it. And especially when you actually have an if else statement or conditional action, you now will be able to know where this is going and what are the variables that you're getting from it. So a super useful feature of Flutterflow. And I can talk for hours about this feature, but I just want to now let you go, guys. Run a test mode, explore it. Please let me know in the comments if you find something that I missed in my video. let me know if something actually changed and this video needs to be actually reproduced. So with the new details, if there are any questions. But yeah, without further ado, and without just leave you, before I leave you, actually, is what I wanted to say, is that I just want to say again, thank you very much for all the people who are actually paid members to my YouTube channel. And if you're feeling super crazy like those three guys, Martinez, Salom, and also Cloud, Bedrock, and GT Data Group, which are actually an elite members, which is the highest tier, you get a shout out actually after each of my videos. So yeah, you can actually consider that as well. But thank you very much again. And yeah, if you haven't joined my Discord channel, actually, I forget to mention that. Please do. My goal for hitting 5,000 subscriber will be actually to stream live every Wednesday on Discord. Yeah, thank you and have a good one. Take care.